Hello everyone. Today I'm in New York to take Amtrak's Cardinal to Chicago. The Cardinal departs at 6:45 a.m. and Amtrak's Metropolitan Lounge isn't open yet on a Sunday. So here we are in Moynihan Train Hall. We can also wait in the ticketed passenger waiting room. Before long, the Cardinal is boarding on track 13, so here we go. The Cardinal operates 3 days a week. Typically consists of 2 coaches, a cafe car, a sleeping car, and a baggage dorm car, which is where we'll be. Both the sleeping car and baggage dorm car are Viewliner 2 cars, so fairly new, delivered 2020-2021. Here we are in our baggage dorm, making our way to our roomette. The baggage dorm has baggage storage at the back of the car and a bunch of roomettes. The onboard crew stays in this car as well, and Amtrak sells 4 or 5 compartments as revenue service. The Cardinal departs New York and heads down the eastern seaboard to Washington, D.C. From there, it cuts across Virginia and gets to the West Virginia border by nightfall. Overnight, it travels through West Virginia, Kentucky, through Cincinnati and into Indianapolis in the early morning. From there, heading northwest into Chicago.
No train number 51, make an intermediate station stop to Chicago. You have staff services located at both ends of every coach restrooms at one end of every coach.
We depart Penn Station right on time. Our sleeping car attendant took breakfast orders before we departed, and shortly after we left, breakfast was delivered. The Cardinal doesn't have a dining car, so it uses Amtrak's flexible dining. You order your meals with your sleeping car attendant, and they deliver them to your compartment. Let's take a look at the inside of our train. As I mentioned, this is a baggage dorm car. It's half baggage car, half roomette car. You can see here the baggage portion, the crew has a towel over the door for privacy. The restrooms and shower room are also here at the back of the car. Take a quick tour of the restroom. You can see it's all pretty clean. Sink is in good shape before we depart. Everything looks good. It's fairly cozy, but not too bad. There's also a changing table back here. Across the hall is the shower room, some nice frosted glass for natural light, toiletries and towels, used linen bin, nice roomy compartment and shower. Take a quick look at the shower. Looks pretty well worn, even though these cars are only a couple years old. Shower floor looks pretty worn there. Ahead of us is another sleeping car, so we'll check that out. It's also a Viewliner 2 car. Very cold today as we leave New York. You can see the frost on the floor here as we pass up to the next sleeping car. Here's the roomette section. 11 roomettes in the Viewliner 2s. Train's pretty empty as we start out, but it will fill up later on. A few people in roomettes. We head to the front of the car. Here is the coffee and water station. Not quite set up yet, I think, because the train is so empty. Here's a deluxe bedroom. It's empty, so we'll take a quick tour, peek in. You can tell it's a Viewliner 2 car from the maroon upholstery. They're nice, comfortable, roomy rooms with their own sink and their own bathroom around the corner to the left there. Looking clean and ready for someone to stay there. There's 2 of these bedrooms in this car. Here's the other one. And then in front of that is the accessible bedroom. Also unoccupied, so we'll take a quick look. Nice and roomy, room for a wheelchair to be secured. There's the upper bunk, mirror and sink. Room for a wheelchair over here. And then there is also a toilet in the room. You can pull a curtain around that for privacy. Ahead of us is the cafe car. We'll head back to our compartment as we speed through the countryside. The countryside of New Jersey is one of the places where the train gets to its top speed of 125 miles an hour. So here we are, cruising along to DC. Hours later, we're pulling into the station in Washington, D.C. This is where our electric locomotive will be replaced with a diesel locomotive for the rest of the trip. And our first chance to get off the train and take a stretch break. So I had to get off on the sleeper car as the stairs on our car were frozen closed. The sleeping car attendant was having some issues with those. This is the Viewliner 2 sleeping car in front of us, the Susquehanna River. At the front of the train, the Amtrak crew is busy replacing the electric locomotive with the diesel that'll take us the rest of the way. Here's a closer look at our baggage dorm car. You can see the rooms in front and the space for the baggage portion at the back. There are 10 of these in service, all delivered in the 2020-2021 time frame, so quite new. Nice and shiny here in the sunlight. So let's take a look at our compartment. Here we have 2 seats, steps to get up to the upper berth. The upper berth is stowed away right now, pushed up toward the ceiling. but up there is where the bedding is stored. Also over the door is a nice storage space for luggage. We'll take a look at the room controls. Get a vent, reading light, attendant call. Down by the seat, get the attendant call, can turn off the PA speaker, control the lights, and you also have 2 power outlets down by the lower vent. On the other side of the room, you have your retractable sink, another 2 outlets, a control for the mirror light, control for the area light, it's that little bar right above the seat, and a reading light switch. Here's the same thing on the other side. Sink folded out, red light comes on. See, the water's nice and steady, doesn't splash you. And then when you're finished, just slowly close it so the water doesn't splash, and lock it into place. Also have this nice sturdy table that folds out for extra space if you need it. As we were waiting in the DC station, the southbound Carolinian rolled in, and not too long after that, we rolled out right on time on this cold, sunny day, heading into Virginia. Soon after crossing the Potomac, it's time for lunch. Let's take a look at Amtrak's flexible dining menu. You have 3 choices for breakfast and 5 choices for lunch or dinner. Also get a free alcoholic beverage with dinner. So we go ahead and place our order. Not long after that, it's delivered to our compartment. These are the chicken enchiladas. You've got the enchiladas, a little salad, dinner roll, and a butter cake for dessert. This route to Chicago is a more scenic route heading southwest, and off we go through Virginia, heading toward the Shenandoah Valley and the mountains. to White Sulphur Springs, West Virginia, home of the Greenbrier Resort, as the sun is low in the sky. This is our first stop in West Virginia. Dinner is delivered after sunset. This is the beef burgundy with a little salad, dinner roll, and some red wine. About an hour after dinner, our sleeping car attendant prepares the bed in the room. Here's our compartment and sleeping configuration. See you in the morning. Breakfast is delivered around 7:15 a.m. before the sun is up. Here's the omelet. As the sun rises, we're stopped outside of Lafayette, Indiana, but soon we're moving again. Despite some starts and stops and freight train breakdowns ahead of us, soon we're in Chicago.
Once again, step off the train, turn to your right, head into the station.
Passing Guaranteed Rate Field here.
If
at the
Chicago
White
is your
Sox.
final destination, please listen up. If Chicago is your final destination and you have checked back,
With the Chicago skyline soon on the horizon. Somewhere overnight, looks like we picked up some additional cars, some Superliner cars ahead of us, probably being taken to Chicago from the shops in Indianapolis. Before long, we're pulling into Union Station in Chicago, about an hour late due to freight train breakdowns and interference earlier in the morning. Off the train shortly thereafter and walking from the far end of track 28 in Union Station. Thanks for watching, everyone.